Here is a chart of NEO. I had not done a NEO analysis for a while, and I wanted to share with you some of the Elliott wave counts as well as maybe chart pattern analysis. So let's review what waves have been already placed here and labeled. So it took years, months rather, of flatlining before it made any impulse moves, and we were able to label 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Notice how here the extended wave is the third wave. The longest wave is wave 3. And that means if the fifth wave is not extended, then most likely it'll just be an ABC, and the retracement should have gone to the region of price of wave 4, but it went much deeper than that. And again, this tells you again, you cannot overlay the conditions that were ascertained for Elliott wave relationship using equities and trying to apply that into cryptos, because cryptos are very different. They're not the same as equities. They don't behave the same. They don't have the same personalities. After 5 waves, there's a requisite retracement in 3 waves. And that's exactly what we saw. A, B, and C. And then I've always said in one of my tutorials, the best time to make an entry for a long entry for buy is at the terminal end of a C wave. So this would have been a good place to enter and cast your ladders. And all the tutorials on how to ladder, how to buy, when to sell for profits, are all in the tutorial that are linked in the bottom of this blog. I highly recommend you please take a look at that, especially for the new viewers and followers. I also put out a tutorial on how to do Elliott wave counting, the first part. That is also linked in the bottom of the blog. The same for the recommended technical analysis books, the Elliott wave principle, and the stock chart pattern recognition book. Now, once ABC is done, once it is complete, there is a trend reversal. The original trend resumes. And that resumption is best confirmed by another 5 wave impulse. Like that. This is a beautiful impulse, you can see. And since 5 waves completed, there's a correction that needs to be done. And also the hurry up and wait syndrome. Look how it didn't waste any time. It almost went vertical. Same here, it almost went vertical. Didn't waste any time. And that is the hurry up part of that syndrome that every crypto has. They hurry up the actionary waves and they take the time on the corrective waves. One of the keys to be able to label this type of very complex combination type of correction, I can just see it right now. And this is what trips up most of the beginners in Elliott wave analysis. And this kind of count also has most variation. There are more than one way to count it. So let's take you through this complex combination. Probably it'll be a combination count, and see where the price will go. So there's a count called WXY, which is 333. So before I do that, let me zoom this in. So I see 3, 3, 3. And that 3 I will call W, X, and Y. And each has a WXY subwave, 333 subwave. And if that's WXY, usually there's another set of WXY. Let's see. W, X, Y. Let's label that W. Oops. W goes here. 1, 2, 3, X. 1, 2, 3, Y. And then another WXY. W, X, Y. Give it a different color. Give it yellow. 1, 2, 3, W. 1, 2, 3, X. 1, 2, 3, Y. Now, waves and subwaves are very important here too. Just like this W has subwaves of itself, 1, 2, 3, and this X has subwaves of itself, 1, 2, 3. These WXY are the subwaves of a higher degree of trend, X. And the purple WXY are the subwaves to a higher degree trend of, I'm sorry, this is W, not X, W. So these WXY are the subwaves of a W, higher degree trend W. And these WXY in purple are subwaves to the higher degree of trend X. And this ABC yellow are the subwaves of a higher degree of trend Y. And this takes some practice to get the hang of. Complex corrections are most difficult because it's not it's not easy to see right away. This you can visualize. You can see this is an impulse very easily. But when you're faced with something like this, it's not as obvious in the form and fit of it. So this is W, X, Y. Does that mean the correction is done? Not necessarily. So I mentioned combination. So here I see a triangle. You can see the triangle probably. So let's draw the line. That. So this went up, first stab. Went up, first, so from here to here is A, B, C, D, and E. So I have a WXY combined with an ABCDE triangle. This is what you call a combination complex correction. Not the easiest to label. Now if I draw a line and now add the chart pattern recognition factor, Now I have a downward pointing bullish flag. So this is a very good bullish flag, very nice. Embedded within that is a symmetrical triangle, A, B, C, D, E. I think there's one more small dip left for E. And I believe the price pathway can look like this. Sorry. It'll start from the E here to 1 support, resistance, support, and an all-time high. Okay, so I'm going to make 1 about equal to 5. So there. So I think correction is almost done. If this WXY is correct and this ABCDE is a consolidation before the takeoff factor, we can see a midterm target of 60.47. I think this labeling is quite good actually. Makes sense and follows the rules. Now let's take a little bit more of a bird's eye view. Keep in mind a subwaves requirement. These waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are subwaves to a higher level wave 1. On this WXY correction with a combination triangle, two higher level, or subwaves to a higher level wave 2, and this is doing 3. And that's not the end of it. That's why I call it the midterm. Then we're going to get 4 and a 5. And the 5 will equal the length of probability of 1. But I won't go that far right now. This is good enough to do the Elliott wave count. And by end of the year, so we should be at $60 plus. That is the price pathway projection I'm making. I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, please post. Every now and then I get someone coming in with some really good attempts on labeling. Bravo. I'd love to see more of that. Post your attempts on Elliott wave labeling. Those of you who have done well so far in labeling the impulse waves, try and see if you can now do the complex waves and post it. I'll be happy to comment.